from the River Street Ale House.
Starting in 3, 2, 1. Access allowed.
Welcome to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge on the App State Sports Network. Coming up, 60 minutes of Mountaineer football conversation and your chance to hear from head coach Dowell Loggains. Mountaineer Talk is brought to you by Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate. Hey Mountaineers, Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate is the official realtor of App State Athletics and the #1 real estate company in the Carolinas. Call Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate today for all your real estate needs. Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi and some friends and get in the game. Pepsi, the official soft drink of your App State Mountaineers. And by UNC Health Blue Ridge, moving healthcare forward. Now, to get things underway, here's the voice of the Mountaineers, Adam Witten.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Mountaineer Talk. Lively crowd here. I love the energy here at the beginning of the show. After a week off because of the Thursday game, we are back to our Wednesday night, 6 to 7 p.m. time slot for another installment of Mountaineer Talk, talking App State football for the next hour with head coach Dowell Loggains. We will also be joined by our player guest, Aiden Benton from the defensive line, and veteran linebacker Kyle Arnholt will be joining us as well a little bit later on in the show. If you want to be a part of tonight's festivities, you can use the hashtag Mountaineer Talk on Twitter. MountaineerTalk@gmail.com is the email inbox. 828-278-9850 is the text line. And if you're watching on our video stream, leave a question in the comments section. We'll have questions from the audience for the coach coming up in segment 2 of our show. Coach Loggains' comments tonight brought to you by Blue Ridge Energy, powering a brighter future. All right, Coach Loggains, welcome to the show. Good to see you. What has been the best part of your week so far?
Well, being back with you, I feel like it's
second to
forever.
that.
Yeah.
Second to
outside
that. Yeah.
Just getting back on the field. You know, you have a couple bad weeks, and the result isn't what you want. And you just get back to work, and the players' attitude. Had an awesome practice Monday night in the snow. You know, Monday night we're out there, and snow's coming down, and the player kind of, they needed a little energy boost, and it was like, hey, remember back in the day when you were like 10 years old? And I grew up in West Texas, so I was like, hey, I told them the story. Man, it snowed once a year.
Yeah.
It snows once a year, and you couldn't wait. I used to sleep in my cleats because I wanted to get up and go play football out with the boys and go to the park. And my mom would come in, like, Dad, take your shoes off, but like take the cleats off. But just an attitude of gratitude, and it was an awesome night that way.
Yeah. So what did that do for the energy of the players? You mentioned it kind of brings back some of that boyish joy that they have with the sport. But what give us a sense of just some of the things you noticed as you watch guys practice when the snow's coming down a little bit?
It is. It's different, man. Sometimes it's real, it's authentic, and you can see it and you feel it of like, hey, this is why we do this. Like, don't forget how lucky we are to be part of this, getting to play Division I football, outside practicing in the snow. Like, and sometimes these young people need to be reminded in a world of instant gratification of like, the opportunity that they've earned. They worked their whole life to be able to do this, and now you're in a football stadium under the lights, practicing in the snow. Like, what an opportunity to get better and to enjoy each other, because these moments, they go fast. And I tell them all the time, guys, college will be the best days of your life, and it will be. And the friendships you make will go with you for life. And you really want to try to create that, even a transfer portal world where people are going to come and go, and the team looks different next year than it did this year, and it was different last year than it is right now. But just to enjoy these moments and to work hard, because you're only guaranteed 12 of these opportunities, and we only got 3 left.
Do you find this with as many coaches and players as you've worked with in your career? Whenever we talk to former players around this program, we always say, like, what are your best memories of being here? And rarely do they talk about specific games. It's the things that happen, just the conversations, the camaraderie, the brotherhood. What are the conversations that you tend to see and hear when you're talking to former players?
Well, even I go back to my teammates. It's the Monday night in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
It's the long bus rides. Like, you remember moments from games here and there, but like most of the time people forget the scores 10 years later, 20 years later, but they remember how they cared about each other. They remember the moments of overcoming really hard things together. These lessons, the beautiful thing about football, the best thing about football is you learn life lessons on that football field. And I'm so proud of our guys, the way that they've responded to hard times this year, like the way they've rallied in the second half of games and the fourth quarter of games. And they've seen injury. They've seen some of their teammates lose their season to injury. They've had to respond to hard things. They've had to respond to the season not going the way they wanted it to go or how anyone had ever envisioned it to go. But they just keep pouring in the effort. And you remember those things for the rest of your life. And those are the lessons you take for the rest of your life that football teaches you.
What are the lessons that you learned from the football field, the life lessons that you learned from the football field back when you were playing, not just coaching?
Yeah, it's to overcome hard. And there's nothing in life that is easy. And there are no great victories in life without overcoming hard stuff. And normally hard work, maybe in the moment doesn't always produce the results you want, but for the rest of your life, like, you will be trained in how to work and overcome hard things. And it's still about people, and it's about the relationships that you create with people. And those are the things that, from my best friends in the world are the guys I was in a college locker room with for 5 years. It makes me sad to think that there's a lot of these guys that won't get to experience that they don't get to stay together for 5 years because there's this transfer portal and all this other stuff. But that's the way it is, and that's the way it is, and we have to accept that because it's different. But that's what you cherish about college football, college athletics, sports, is the relationships that you build, that no matter what you're going through, you've been through hard things with these people, that you got brothers that you can call on at any point.
Yeah, and when you go through those things, it makes the successes in life even sweeter, I would imagine.
Well, you
right?
have people to share it with.
Yeah.
So it definitely does, and it goes back to the lessons you learn in between those white lines.
Yep. All right, we're just getting started with head coach Dowell Loggains. We're going to preview Saturday's game as the Mountaineers go on the road up to Harrisonburg to take on the JMU Dukes. That will be a 3:30 kickoff at Bridgeforth Stadium in Harrisonburg. Our coverage on the network will begin at 1:30. But we also want to get to your questions, so go ahead and fire away. Twitter, email, text, our Facebook live stream, a variety of ways you can get in touch with our show tonight. Hey, Mountaineers, Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate is the official realtor of App State Athletics and the #1 real estate company in the Carolinas. Call Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate today for all your real estate needs. Just getting started with you on a Wednesday night here in Boone at River Street Ale House. Come on back for more Mountaineer Talk presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge right after these messages.
What does it mean
Time to hear more from head coach Dowell Loggains and your host, Adam Witten.
Glad you're with us tonight from River Street Ale House. Another Wednesday night edition of Mountaineer Talk, talking App State football as the Mountaineers get set to hit the road for Harrisonburg to face the Dukes of James Madison. We're visiting with head coach Dowell Loggains for our second segment. His comments brought to you by Blue Ridge Energy, powering a brighter future. And want to get to some of your questions now. Coach, we were just talking about the snow, and Weston is asking about how do you plan on handling practice schedules, knowing that it's great to see the indoor facility under construction and the progress is coming along, but while that is still going on, what are you doing to say, okay, snow's coming down, it's the weather might not be great, but we still got to be out here in the elements. How do you manage that part of it?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think it's because I've lived in the Northeast. I've lived in Chicago for 3 years, New York for 3 years, Cleveland for 1 year, and in those 7 years coaching in the NFL 16 weeks a year, I think I was in an indoor one time.
Really?
And yeah, absolutely,
wow.
Because you want to practice in these conditions. And if Monday night I would have been outside as well. Where you really need these indoors is for thunderstorms. And in August you need them. But you want, like, how your team gets tough as you practice outside and you get used to the elements. And your sell is to these guys is, guys, look, they don't have to practice in this. They're coming to the mountain to get ready to play in a cold game. This is another advantage we create. So there's nothing like practicing outside, develop toughness, mental toughness, because then all of a sudden your linemen want to put sleeves on. Like, we don't wear sleeves here. They want to put the sweats on over their pen. No, we don't do that here. So it develops a toughness, and you have to be able to control your mind, because when it's freezing cold, the difference here is now in this mountain, that wind swirls, and it will cut through you. But I think it develops toughness, and we would have been outside anyway, because I just think practicing in the elements is what's best for the football team.
Yeah, and that stuff pays off when you get to some of these November games, especially
Absolutely.
here in Benton, even at a lot of places in the Sun Belt. I mean, it's cold in Harrisonburg too. They're in the mountains as well. So, all right, another question from our stream. This is from Cody. He wants to know about, Coach, what do you want to see out of your guys in terms of the juice and the energy that they have on the sidelines when they're not necessarily in the game? Yeah,
unbelievable cheerleaders, and they need to support their teammates and to their personality. You can't create, you can't make people something they're not. But what we do want is we want to be a team that's together, that celebrates each other's successes, that we're rallying to the people when they make a play that they wish they had back. So on the sideline, the energy of the sideline is important. We've actually suited up a couple different people just because they bring great energy and they bring great juice, and those things become contagious. And you want guys, even in recruiting, as we're going through these processes, we're looking for guys that are energy givers, and you got to eliminate all the energy vampires and get the guys around that give great energy, that care about one another, and in a world that's so selfish, can celebrate other successes.
Yeah. Okay. Good question. Good answer.
Great question.
This one comes to our text line, 828-278-9850. Someone wants to know how you've used the couple extra days that you've had to prepare for this one on Saturday.
Yeah. We had two. It's a weird schedule because there's been two, like basically a 10-day window for two games in these things. So, and we got into normal mode. We started a little bit early on both opponents. Even last week against Georgia Southern, we started in the bye week, and so then we're kind of back into a normal game routine and really trying to get some people back healthy, trying to get back not necessarily healthy, but get their legs back under them, give energy back, and because it is part of the season where they've gone through 3 really hard weeks of games and preparation and those things. So there's a balance of also getting them back physically and mentally, eliminate that fatigue.
Yep. Okay. And then someone asked the question, we'll have availability reports from the Sun Belt Conference coming out later on tonight, but we did have an emailer ask about just overall health of the team at this stage of the season.
Yeah, well, that's why we do availability reports. Now, I'm going straight NFL mode now. Like, I think it's out at 8 p.m. tonight. Scott's working on it, so it'll be out there. But we're relatively healthy for November football.
Yeah, everybody's banged up this time of year. It's a question of to what degree when you get to November. All right, thank you everyone for your questions. Coming up in our next segment, we'll talk more specifically about Saturday's opponent, the JMU Dukes. Since 1981, Mountaineer Mania has been Boone's one-stop shop for all your App State gear, the largest selection of tailgating supplies, hats, and one-of-a-kind apparel. Mountaineer Mania has something for everyone. Alumni owned and operated. Make sure your next trip to Boone includes includes a visit to Mountaineer Mania. Also want to say hello to those that are watching. That we've gotten some notes that some folks, including our big fan Jeffrey Nelson, is watching us from the home center tonight as they get ready for the women's basketball game against Davidson coming up in just a little bit.
Let's go, Coach Sharp.
Yep, and hello to everyone watching us there as they prepare for that one. Big game at home for the women's team. Hope that those of you here at Ale House will make your way over to the home center at the conclusion of our show tonight. All right, when we come back, we'll talk about Saturday's opponent, the James Madison Dukes. That's when Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, continues after this.
Miss.
All right, welcome back to the show, Mountaineer Talk from River Street Ale House in Boone, our show presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. And we're visiting with head coach Dowell Loggains for one more segment, and then we're going to have defensive players Aiden Benton and Kyle Arnholt scheduled to join us in just a little bit. Coach Loggains' comments tonight brought to you by Blue Ridge Energy, powering a brighter future. All right, let's learn about Saturday's opponent, the JMU Duke. Let's start big picture, Coach. What stands out about this team?
The best roster we face this year.
Okay.
Most complete roster.
More so than Boise?
More so than Boise. Complete, when I say top to bottom, just good offense, defense, special teams. You can tell they've won for a while. The bodies look right. They've trained the right way. They've lifted the right way. They've done a good job in their top 44 players, 22 transfers, and so half transfer portal, half homegrown. But they play really well together. Got some experienced guys, and just they're a top 25 team, and just their win-loss record alone tells you how talented they are. The one loss to Louisville, and that could have gone either way as well.
Yeah, they were in that game, and Louisville made a couple big plays late in that one to win. But yeah, they're 8-1 coming into this game, so they're unbeaten in conference play. All right, so let's start with their defense. And one thing that we've always known about JMU is they can live in the backfield. They're good at creating negative plays. What do they do so well with their front defensively?
It's talent. It is, and they've got some big interior linemen, and they've got the two best linebackers we've seen on a team together. Both really talented players. One of them for sure will get a chance to play at the next level, and so that gives them the ability to really good nickel, but their ability to control the line of scrimmage up front is really what makes them really tough to run on and really tough to score points on.
Yeah. Is it so? You say they got 2 linebackers, and because they're so good, you mentioned something there where it allows them to go nickel. Will they use 5 DBs more so than normal?
And actually, they'll mix in more base than what we've seen lately. They'll put that third linebacker on the field because they do run so well, and they're not scared to match up their linebackers on tight ends and backs. So we'll see more base defense than, when I say base, like a true 4-3 defense versus most of the time in college football, it's nickel defense, which you hear the term 4-2-5 a lot, and that's the 5th defensive back being in the game. So this will be the different schematic will be that for us is they're going to be more base.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about their quarterback, Alonzo Barnett, who is, they brought in Matthew Sluka from UNLV, and they kind of split time between those two early in the season. Now they've really settled. Barnett's the guy, and he has seemed like he has really taken control of this offense.
Yeah, early in the year when you watch him, it wasn't smooth, and it was going back and forth. And when they kind of settled in on Barnett, you could tell that he took off a little bit because they were trying to play Sluka a little bit, and both of them have similar skill set, but unique in different ways. But then once they settled in on one, I think some of the clunkiness of the offense got eliminated, and they started playing well, and they do such a good job running the football. And we know the quarterback's going to carry the ball anywhere from 10 to 14 times a game, so we got to do a great job with that. And they've got a talented group of running backs. The offensive line plays well as a group, and they've got good team speed, so we're going to have to tackle well in space and be ready to stop this run. But the message to the defense also was, look, our strength of our defense is stopping the run. We got to eliminate these explosive passes and these leaky yards in the passing game as we stop the run. And when you put one extra guy in the box to stop the run, but we can't allow the explosive plays, the run after the catch plays to happen this week.
So we know Barnett can throw the ball. He's got a 16 touchdown to 4 interception ratio, and the rushing numbers are there. Didn't seem like he was always as much of a threat to run as he is now. Has that kind of come on of late for him?
I think it's as the years gone, he's gotten more comfortable. The best thing he does is he takes care of the football, and he doesn't put the ball in jeopardy very often. But it's out of those 10 to 14 carries, it's the 4 or 5 in situations that just can break your back. If you lose integrity of the rush, if you rush past the quarterback, if you're not disciplined when you make your dive calls and you're stopping your zone read, and all of a sudden you get undisciplined and you slide down, he can take the ball and hurt you. So, and they do a good job with using their tight ends to make sure they're protected quarterback runs when they do. So he creates challenges, and he has gotten better, and you can tell he's more comfortable making plays as the season's gone on with his legs as well.
How much do they utilize their running backs in the passing game? Wayne Knight is a guy who's kind of gone back and forth with the program, but now he's back in and seems like he has been a big difference maker for their offense.
He has, and in the return game. Yeah, and he's done a nice job as a runner and as a pass catcher. And you got to know where number 3's at, and because he can hurt you in a different, even out of the backfield catching passes, check downs, and all of a sudden he gets that check down, he makes the first guy miss, and all of a sudden it should be a 6-yard gain. It's those leaky yards where it's a 6-yard gain. Well, all of a sudden you look up, it's a 1st and 10. He's gained 13, 14 yards on him. So we got to do a great job tackling space versus this guy.
All right. So it's no secret that on paper JMU's a big favorite in this game. How much do you lean into that with your team to say, hey, everyone's counting you guys out?
Yeah, Hunter. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the message to the team is, guys, you have nothing to lose. You're 20-point underdogs to an in-conference opponent who's ranked in the top 25 that everyone's saying is going to be in the college football playoff since Memphis lost. So how about go play free? How about cut it loose and don't worry about mistakes and keep playing. And the message all week was 60 minutes, all you got, no judgment. 60 minutes, all you got, no judgment. And it's play as hard as you can for 60 minutes with all you got. And the no judgment part is don't look at the scoreboard. Go get back in the huddle, get the call, go to the next play. If it's good or bad, move on. Because the way you go on the road and you upset people is you do that. And you got to be opportunistic. Like, we got to get takeaways. And we hadn't had enough takeaways in these last couple games. And we got to protect the football. And when you look up in these games, my college coach, Houston Nutt, we beat number 1 when I was at Arkansas. We beat LSU. He went to Ole Miss and he beat Florida. They had Tebow. And then there was the speech, the Tebow speech.
That's right.
But if you go back and you study those games, it was control the line of scrimmage, be opportunistic. When the ball's up in the air, you got to come down with it on defense. You create takeaways, you protect the football, and all of a sudden you're getting these on the road, and it's a 1-score game, and they get tight because you're playing. You're free. Mm-hmm. And that's how you go into someone's house and beat when you're an underdog. And I hope that our guys, because I take it as a challenge. This is great competition. What a great test of where we're at and the resiliency of these guys and the work they're putting in right now. And it's going to pay off. And, so I'm excited about the challenge.
Yeah. I know after the Georgia Southern game, you were complimentary of the way that your team keeps fighting and the way that they played the last two games in the fourth quarter. They have made these games close at the very end. And, yeah, we want to see more of that the entire game. But where do you feel like that fight is coming from this team?
Character. It's the character of the people.
Yeah.
It's the character of the people. It's the belief in the program. It's the belief in each other. It's not one to let your teammate down. Do we want to start faster? Absolutely. Do we need to start faster? Yes. Are we changing things in practice to make sure that we create energy and competition to start faster? Yes. But this team is built of the right type kids. Life's hard, and when you deal with prosperity and adversity, how do you respond? They respond the right way because of each other, and they do have faith. They have pride in this place, and they have pride in their school, and they don't want to let the fans down. There's nothing worse than you go and you play a game that you think that you should win, and you believe that you should win, and it's Thursday night on national TV, and you let your fans down, and then it hurts. It hurts for those guys. So when you get in the locker room, this thing's so much bigger than yourself. And it is a player, when you're made of the right stuff, it's bigger than you. It's out of yourself and into the team and into the tradition and the history of this place. And so when you let people down, it hurts. And you got to go in the locker room afterwards. And as a coach, you're looking for the right thing to say, but all you see is those faces. Mm-hmm. And you know how much work they put into this. And it didn't pay off, but it will. I promise it will. And to see those guys strain and fight and not give up for each other, losing's hard. I hate losing. I hate losing more than I like winning. And our players are going to get there too. But the pride, the effort, the character of that group is special.
Yeah, it's well said. And we'll leave it there. What a great opportunity on Saturday for you guys. All right, go get them.
Appreciate you, brother.
That's head coach Dowell Loggains. Stay tuned. We'll start our player guest segments when we return to Ale House after this.
For over 54
All right, welcome back to the show. It is Mountaineer Talk coming to you on a Wednesday night here in Boone. Our thanks to head coach Dowell Loggains for joining us earlier in the program. We're going to get to our player guests here in just a moment, but we also want to remind you that you can check out Town Tavern Blowing Rock for a great dining experience, along with River Street Ale House. They're open for lunch, dinner, and later, and have 19 flat-screen TVs to catch the games. They also boast the largest outdoor dining area in the high country, so make sure you stop by Town Tavern Blowing Rock as well on your next trip to the high country. All right, everyone, give it up for our first player guest tonight from the defensive line. He wears number 33, Aiden Benton. Let's say hello to him. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. Thank you for being on the show. All right, so I feel like I have to start here because we were just talking about it in the commercial break. So you're from Georgia,
yes, sir.
Correct? Now, where in Georgia? Tell the people where you're from geographically in the state of Georgia.
I'm from Hampton, Georgia, Clayton County. So I'm deep in, like, down south, and I'm from the Motor Speedway. I live like 10 minutes away from Motor Speedway, so I'm around that area.
So one of the things we talked about when we went down to play Georgia State is we were trying to figure out, like, which players say that they're from Atlanta, but some say they're not from Atlanta because they're from a little too far. Do you claim that you're from Atlanta when people ask you, or do you have to be really specific?
So really, if somebody's from Georgia and they from down south, I'll say from Clayton County or the south side. But if they're from up north or like out of state, I'll say I'm from Atlanta.
Oh, okay. So north side of Atlanta is considered Atlanta, but once you go south of the downtown area, then we're talking about different counties and different towns and things like that.
It's different, man. It's different.
Okay. Now, the next thing I asked you was, are you a Falcons fan? And you said what?
I'm a Saints fan. I'm a Trader.
That's like there are not many teams in the NFL that dislike each other more than the Falcons and the Saints.
Yeah.
How did you become a Saints fan growing up where you did?
So my family is from Alabama, right? And we're an Alabama fan. And my favorite player was Mark Ingram.
Oh,
so he went to the Saints, and
so that's how you became a Saints fan.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Yep.
Okay. All right. Very good. So you are one of a pretty good line of players that have come from Georgia Military College here to App State. How did you become familiar with App State to eventually come here?
From the lab staff, just talking to them. When they left, Coach Shaq brought me in, Coach D-Lo. They brought me in real tight, talking to me a lot, and just fell in love with the program.
Yeah. What was the experience? You told me something about how when Coach DJ Smith came to visit.
Yeah, so he came.
What happened there?
So what happened was it was a 6 o'clock lift. He came all the way down.
6 a.m.
Yep, 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
6 a.m. lift. Came all the way down in the morning and just checked me out, man. It was probably the best thing. That's what made me really commit there, really. He
came and saw you and joined you at a 6 a.m. lift.
Yep.
They must have really wanted you.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad that you made your way here. So what, had you been to this part of the region, been to Boone before you started coming to school here? Had you been to this area before?
No, I never really been here. I never went up north at all. I only went to Penn State, and that was my cousin. He played there.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's the only thing that took me up north.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What was it like when the snow started coming down earlier this week?
Oh, man, it was different, man. Yeah, my hands were shivering. Monday was probably the craziest day.
Was it fun, though? Because we were talking to Coach D'Lo about how it just, it brings a different energy and takes you back to your childhood a little bit when you play in the snow.
It was fun for a while, and then it got cold. It was fun for a while, then it got real cold. It was bad. My hands, I couldn't feel my hands.
Now when you come inside from the snow as a kid, maybe someone will make you some hot chocolate or something like that to warm up. How did you get warmed up after that?
I don't really know. Just sitting on the couch, really trying to take everything off and run hot water, trying to get in the bath, really. Yeah. That's the only thing I could do.
Yeah, but no sleeves or anything like that, right?
No. Yeah, I wear everything out there. Everything I could find.
Yeah. Tell us about your journey on the field, because now you've gotten to the point where you've started the last 4 games at defensive end. How have you progressed from where you were at the beginning of the season to now becoming, even more of an impact player on the defense?
Just going through the playbook, man, just taking step by step, learning the playbook, learning my position, learning my role. That's the big thing, learning my role, and that's the big thing about playing 4 games, starting the 4 games, playing your role, really.
What was the hardest part to learn? What was the thing that was just, was the biggest challenge for me in trying to make sure that I learned this role to be able to play more snaps?
I really don't know. I've been playing DN my whole life, so it's not nothing really I'm familiar with that's like, it was like crazy.
Yeah.
Everything is crazy when you get to the upper level, from going from JUCO to all the way, powered with G5. So it was crazy about that, but other than that, it's nothing different.
When you play at that level and then you come to App State, what kind of mentality does that create in a player to come up from JUCO and work your tail off to get an opportunity like this?
Really, you just have a dog mentality. Really, I don't really understand. I mean, I don't know. You just got to put your big boots on, get ready. That's the only thing I say to myself. I got to put my Dickies on and get ready.
Yeah, okay. Why 33? Is there any sort of reasoning behind the number 33?
Not really. So I had number 54, I think, and I was like, I don't really like that number. And I went 33. So yeah, that's the only thing. And I see a lot of pass rushers with 33, so that's what made me feel my groove with 33.
Okay, I know you're a Saints fan, and you said it was because of Mark Ingram. But is there a defensive player that you say that's the type of player that I want to try to be like, that you watch in the NFL? Someone whose game, whether they're an edge rusher or just an overall defensive lineman, you say, that's the type of game that I want to try to play.
For sure, Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald. Yeah.
For sure, Aaron Donald.
That's pretty good.
For sure.
That's a pretty good one. All right, we're just getting started with Aiden Benton, one of our player guests tonight. We'll also be visiting with linebacker Kyle Arnholt in just a little bit. If you have questions for AB, you can get them in on our Facebook live stream, Twitter, #Mountaineer Talk. The email inbox is mountaineertalk@gmail.com. Text line 828-278-9850. We'll continue with more with Aiden Benton when we return to River Street Ale House for more of Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge after this.
Covering
All right, welcome back to the show. We are visiting with our player guest, Aiden Benton, as we continue with Mountaineer Talk from River Street Ale House in Boone. Got a few questions here we want to get to for AB from Neil on our Facebook live stream. Hello, Neil. Appreciate you chiming in. What is your pregame hype music? How do you get fired up for the game?
I'll say Lil Snoop and Kodak Black. Those are two people I listen to. I don't have a specific song I listen to by them.
Okay.
But by Lil Snoop, I'll probably say Mellow, Lil Mellow. Mm-hmm. But that's the only song that I listen to that get me pumped every game.
Okay. All right. What age were you when you started playing football?
Around like 4 or 3 years old, I was playing flag football. Pee Wee days.
Oh man, that's the best, man. The early days of flag football. And you told me that you played some running back too in your younger years.
Yep.
So what made you decide that defense was going to be the path for you?
I was getting chunky. I was getting fat, man. And they moved me to DN when I was in high school. Actually, middle school, I was getting fat a little bit. And man, I kind of loved it. All I had to do was get off the ball.
What is your favorite moment from your football career? I'm going back to when you were 3 or 4 years old. Just say, and in this game I did this, and I'll never forget it.
Man, that's really hard right there. I've been playing football for so long. It's like I have so many memories.
You don't even have to give me your best one. Just give me the first thing that comes to mind, maybe.
Scoring a touchdown, you guys can search me up. I literally scored like a touchdown. I had broke 6 tackles, and I was in Pee Wee ball. That was probably my favorite play ever.
Okay, how old were you at this?
Ooh, I think I was like 10, 9. I think around that age.
You said we could look it up. Is there video of this out there?
Yeah.
Really?
It's Gamecocks white, Gamecocks black.
Okay. We're going to look this up. You said you broke how many tackles?
It was like 6. It was on Born to Compete.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you could try your hand at running back again. Who knows? I mean, if you're doing that kind of stuff. All right, we gotta find that video. We'll get our. I might look this up as soon as the show's over tonight.
Yes, sir.
Any other sports that you enjoyed playing when you were growing up besides football?
Basketball. Really,
okay.
Basketball.
All right. Do you still play it all now, like pickup or anything like that?
After the football season, I don't want to get too, deep in basketball. I don't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
I want to put all my potential in football.
I like asking this question to players on our team that have an interest in basketball. If you had to form a starting 5 amongst our football team.
Ooh, football team. I thought you were going to say in the basketball.
No. The guys on the App State football team on the roster. If you had to put together a starting 5,
dang.
Would you be in the starting 5?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, all right, good. Let's get that out of the way. All right, so we got 4 spots left.
I ain't never played basketball with the guys yet. It was my first time coming up here. I ain't played basketball. I was working on my craft.
Okay.
So I'd say me 1 through 5.
Just find 5 guys like me.
Yeah, basically. I'm like that. I'm really like that at basketball.
All right, then what's your where did you immediately go when I said your all-time starting 5? When you said we can go NBA then?
NBA.
Yeah.
I'll probably say Stephen Curry for number 1. Shooting guard, of course, Michael Jordan. LeBron James.
MJ over LeBron or vice versa?
Oh, LeBron James over MJ, for sure.
Whoa.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know that I can allow that. Okay. All right.
Yeah, LeBron at the 3. It's crazy to say this. At the 4, I'm going to put Giannis. That's my all-time.
I don't think that's that crazy. I don't think
that
that's crazy to say.
If he get 1 more ring or 2 more rings, he's like that. At center, I put Shaq. I ain't watched really no center. That's crazy. On the come up, I say Wemby. He's coming up.
He's unreal.
He's unreal. He gets 2 rings, 3. He's gonna be number 1.
I don't know how you stop that guy.
Yeah,
I really don't. I really don't. Unless you're out there playing defense on him or something. So, all right. One more question about football before we let you go. We were asking Coach Loggains about the fact that you guys are going into a situation where you're big underdogs.
Yep.
But it's an opportunity, right? It's something you said you got to have a dog mentality when someone like you comes from the JUCO ranks up here to play Division I. You've worked so hard your whole life, and now you're going into a game where, hey, not a lot of people are giving you a chance outside of the locker room, at least. How do you approach something like that?
I really don't get into much of that. Really, you know what you're putting in during the day. You know if you're doing your work. I don't really approach when somebody's telling me any of that. I really don't get into that at all.
Okay. Just go out there and play your best.
It's on show.
Do the work.
On show for sure.
All right. We can't wait to see it on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Aiden Benton joining us on the program tonight. Let's give it up for him one more time. That was fun, man. Enjoyed it. Thanks for being on the show.
Yes, sir.
All right. When we come back, we'll visit with linebacker Kyle Arnholt. That's when we return to River Street Ale House for more Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge after this.
Tired of sitting on
All right, welcome back to the show. With you for about 10 more minutes, 15 more minutes actually, as we get you set for App State and JMU coming up on Saturday. 3:30 is the kickoff, 1:30 our pregame on the App State Sports Network. We're going to visit with Kyle Arnholt here in just a moment for another one of our player guest segments. It's brought to you by Alumni Hall, the official online store of App State Athletics. Shop the best selection of App State apparel, hats, and gear by visiting Alumni Hall on King Street or alumnihall.com. Earn $10 in Hall cash rewards for every $150 you spend. Alumni Hall, the ultimate Mountaineer shopping destination. All right, guy who's been with the program for many years now. He's a veteran on the squad. Let's give it up for linebacker Kyle Arnholt joining us on the program. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, man. Can you believe it's flown by as quickly as it has?
Yeah, I mean, I can remember being a freshman and, hearing Coach Clark tell us, this is going to go by faster than you'll ever imagine. So, it really has. It's been a great journey.
Your freshman year was 2021?
2021, yeah.
Correct. How do you best describe the difference in who you are today versus what you were like in 2021?
Oh, man, it's as far as the football field goes, it's completely different. I had never been on the defensive side of the ball within 5 yards of the ball playing linebacker, so that was a huge adjustment for me. And I feel like every year that's just been something that I have to get better at every year, just continuing to improve there. So definitely a huge change. So
let's talk about that for a second. Where were you slotted to kind of spend your time as a player when you first got here?
Yeah, if you remember the anchor position from back in the day, they wanted me to play that kind of overhang, linebacker safety hybrid. But with a knee injury and just the way it shook out, I ended up moving to inside backer really before I got a chance to step on the field. But it's been a great transition for me and definitely super fulfilling. So.
What was the hardest part of that transition?
Just the physicality. I mean, these guys are big at this level. I just played safety. I, wasn't a huge tackler, more of a kind of a ball hog type player. So just adjusting to that physicality is definitely the thing I had to focus on the most. But that's kind of the most fun part of the game.
So I noticed you've got the curls back now a little bit. When we talked to you back like at media day, you had it all cut off, right? It was buzzed at that point. What made you want to grow it back?
I don't like getting haircuts. So keep it simple. Just let it grow, and I'll deal with it when I have to.
Okay. All right. So this is nothing new to you as somebody that's been here now for the last 4 seasons. Getting a chance to practice out in the snow. What's that? How did that feel?
It was really cool. We were under the lights too, so kind of a pretty scenic kind of moment. It was pretty cold. My hands were pretty cold, but I mean, it's something that Coach D'Lo said we're not really going to have many chances to do something like that. So it was definitely super cool.
Yeah. All right. I want to get to a couple questions that are coming in on our stream. Gina, immediately when she heard you were coming on the show, she asked, "What's your best memory so far as an App State player?"
I'd have to say beating Texas A&M in 2022. I got some of my first snaps on defense, got my first tackle in that game, and obviously huge upset, huge win for us. So that was just an unbelievable experience.
What's something specific, any particular memory or vision that you remember from that game? I mean, certainly after the game, but so much went into that, and then the college game day announcement afterwards. I mean, what do you remember most in terms of a singular moment from that experience?
From that game, I remember some of my first snaps in my career were when Jalen McLeod had that huge that sack fumble, and just seeing that he just ran over those 2 dudes, caused a fumble. We pick it back up. I was like, man, this is great.
Yeah. So. Okay. Chelsea, who says that she's your biggest fan from Michigan and wants to know, the feeling you know who this is, wants to know your favorite pregame meal.
Yeah. Shout out Chelsea and the boys up in Michigan. That's my cousin. So.
Okay.
I mean, really just whatever they have for us. I usually get a little bit of steak, some pasta, some green beans, try and drink some Gatorade, get some electrolytes, get my body fueled up. So,
steak? Are you what temperature are you going with your steak?
I'll go with the medium on game day.
Okay, we can't go more than that, though.
Yeah, definitely not more than that.
Okay, all right, very good. All right, so a couple of people are asking about JMU and your thoughts on that game, but I want to ask you specifically about the game 2 years ago. Similar situation where JMU's having a great season. They're being talked about college football playoff. You guys go up there. You win in overtime 2 years ago. What was it about the approach to that game that you think, okay, this is what it's going to take for us in terms of our mentality, our physicality, and the way that we're going into this one to try to repeat what happened 2 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, nobody gave us a shot, so we just had a chance to just go play free. And, I remember from 2023, the big thing for us was, shock the world. And, like, they got college game day, not because we were coming to play them, but because they had such a great season. And, they were, on pace to, be a highly ranked team from the Sun Belt. So, we just wanted to kind of prove everybody that App State was, still here. And I think that's the same mentality we all have this week.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're hoping that happens again this Saturday. It's a 3:30 kickoff against JMU. We're going to have one more segment here with Kyle Arnholt. So if you have some last-minute questions, you can fire away on our Facebook stream, also Twitter, email, and text. We'll continue with more from River Street Ale House and Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. We're back after these messages. Back to the show, Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, where the video of Aiden Benton from Pee Wee football breaking 6 tackles has been unearthed. And Ruthie here in our audience has actually posted it to the chat on the Facebook live stream if you want to watch it. We just watched the video of him breaking 6 tackles in a game. It's legit. Pretty good stiff arm in there as well from AB. All right, Kyle Arnholt, what is your best moment that you can recall from at any point in your football career?
The first game of my senior year in the spring of 2021, because we couldn't play in the fall because of COVID. Me and my teammates put in a lot of work, lifting a lot of weights, running a lot of routes. Ready for this one game. It had been almost a year and a half since we played before, and we won 70-6, and I had 4 touchdowns, so that was a pretty fulfilling moment. Kind of coming full circle there.
Wow. So. Okay, that's impressive. All right, you mentioned Texas A&M was your favorite moment. Anything in terms of like something you've done in a game that you're particularly proud of?
I think just being able to be on the field in those moments is just so incredible. Like, to be honest, I never really expected myself taking it this far, but every day I'm just trying to put my best foot forward, and to be a part of it is just a blessing.
Yeah. So. Well, we love asking this question, and David chimes in with this on our stream. What do you like to do outside of football?
I like to golf, play video games. I like to be outside, doing all those kinds of things. Play basketball, like AB said. I haven't been playing much just because, football takes a toll on you, but that's something I used to love to do.
He couldn't name anybody else for his starting 5 amongst the team. Do you have an opinion on that?
I don't have a huge opinion, but we got some good hoopers on the team, so it would be tough, that's for sure.
Are you in that starting 5?
If I'm not in starting 5, I think I can get the 6 man.
The 6 man,
yeah,
okay.
I play a lot of ball growing up, so.
How good of a golfer are you?
I've been getting pretty good over the past few years. I started golfing again in COVID. Played a little with my dad when I was younger, but I've had a few rounds in the 70s, so I'm pretty proud of that.
That's good. You're a good golfer if you can break 80. Yes, absolutely. What are your goals after college football is done?
Any chance, to play some more football would be, obviously a huge blessing. But, I guess, go join the real world. I'm getting my MBA right now, so we'll see where that takes me. But, just kind of taking it day by day.
Yeah.
You never know what'll happen.
Any particular area of business that interests you?
I like just kind of the analytics side of it all, finding the things that, aren't there on the surface, and, creating something valuable out of that.
Finding patterns and trends and working off of stuff like that. Okay. Do you get more analytical when it comes to studying football? Like how deep in the numbers and the tendencies do you get when it comes to that?
They're huge, obviously, knowing people's tendencies. But ultimately, it's a huge field game, being out there, but being able to, see a formation, recognize it, know what kind of things teams run out of certain looks, and, what obviously their top plays are, maybe in this certain down and distance or this field zone. Those things always help. So, definitely try to look into those things. Okay.
You mentioned you're a gamer. Any particular game that you're playing more often than others?
I've always been a Call of Duty guy ever since I was a young kid, but, all the sports games, Madden, 2K, MLB, stick with the classics. So.
Yeah. Okay. Are you one of the tops on the team? Like if you guys are playing the EA college football game, and who's typically winning those games?
I'm not a huge online player as far as that goes. I like to kind of do the road to glory stuff, especially with NCAA.
Yeah.
Being in the games is crazy to me. So
that's something you probably never envisioned in your life, did you? To see your name on a video game.
I remember playing the last one, the NCAA 14, when I was just a young kid. So being on the next one's pretty crazy.
All right. Well, we can't wait to see you play for real life on Saturday at JMU. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right. This is Kyle Arnholt joining us on the program. App State and JMU coming up on Saturday. Again, kickoff 3:30 in Harrisonburg. Our pregame coverage begins at 1:30 on the network. Thanks to Kyle. Thanks to Aiden Benton. Thanks to head coach Dowell Loggains for joining us. And thanks to all of you for being here at Ale House and watching and listening wherever you happen to be. We'll talk to you Saturday in Harrisonburg. Have a great night and go App.
Presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge on the App State Sports Network. Tonight's show has been brought to you by Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate. Hey, Mountaineers, Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate is the official realtor of App State Athletics and the #1 real estate company in the Carolinas. Call Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate today for all your real estate needs. Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi and some friends and get in the game. Pepsi, the official soft drink of your App State Mountaineers.